Hello and welcome to the Maggie L. Walker National Historic Site. My name is Ranger Mike and I'm here in my kitchen because I'm going to be doing something a little bit different today. We've done some Facebook talks already, but instead of just talking, we're actually going to get our hands busy. Because what we're going to make is a bank. One of the skills that Mrs. Walker always tried to teach to kids is thriftiness. And there's no better way to be thrifty than using what we already have to make something new, to give it a new purpose and a new meaning. And so that's exactly how we're going to make our bank, is we're going to try and make our bank out of things that we already have in our home. Whether it's a hot chocolate tin, maybe it's body wash or shampoo bottles, perhaps it's orange juice container that you've emptied, or milk container, or even a detergent container. All of these, with just a little ingenuity, can become something new, can become something with new meaning in our lives. So for my bank, I am going to go with a couple options. I'm going to go and make one out of this old body wash bottle. I am going to make one also out of the orange juice bottle. I like having the option of having two different sizes because it gives you two different goals to reach for. The smaller one's going to be easier to fill up, but I also like that the orange juice bottle is larger and it's see-through. So you'll be able to actually see that money rising higher and higher and higher in the bottle. And so it's going to give us a good way to follow as we build up our bank. And now that we have our choice of bottle, what we're going to need to do is figure out what tools we need. And for the most part, it's going to be pretty basic tools that I bet you a lot of you already have ready to go. So for one of them, it's going to be super glue, some kind of strong glue. It doesn't have to be super glue, but any strong glue. Pair of scissors and electrical tape to hold some things together. We have a pen and pencil to make some markings where we're going to make our cuts. I have a couple different pocket knives here. I also have a little X-Acto knife, and I actually have some construction paper to cover the outside of the bank. That's going to make it look a lot nicer instead of just a plain bottle, whether it's whatever color you have. I think adding some construction paper is going to add a lot more to it. And so for the most part, those are the tools that you need. Now you might have noticed I have something extra here. And what I'm going to do is I want to make my bank remind me of Mrs. Walker and of the historic site. And so I'm going to add this little token here. It says Maggie L. Walker National Historic Site. This was given to me by my supervisor, and so I'm going to add this to my bank and try and make sure I can keep it on there. And it's always going to remind me of Mrs. Walker. One of the first things that we're going to want to do is we're going to want to remove the labels. You can see I already did that with my green bottle, but I have yet to do that with the orange one. But also, after removing those labels, there's some stickiness to them, and we're going to want to remove that too. Just to make sure that there is a clear surface. If we're going to use anything like crayons or markers or anything on here, it's going to be really hard to do that. And so I just grabbed one of my kitchen sponges that was brand new, so it's not gross yet. And I'm just going to be trying to clean off that glue here for a little while. I'm going to try and speed this up for you so you don't have to sit through the whole thing because it might take a little bit. It actually took me a whole lot longer to remove the glue off of the body wash bottle than I was expecting. I only show you a little bit of it here, but I was scrubbing that thing for probably 10, 15, 20 minutes to try and clear it off, and I still couldn't get everything off. So I might recommend against those. Now the orange juice bottle was much easier to clean off. The glue did not last nearly as long, but even easier than the orange juice bottle is something like the hot chocolate tin that I had, or a sports bottle, where those are only glued in one spot on the back, and all you have to do is make a cut there
and then it almost peels all the way off. So I would recommend something like a sports drink or a juice bottle over either a big orange juice container or the body wash bottle.
So now that we have our bottles cleaned off, free of almost all of the glue, what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to take a pocket knife and we're going to want to make a decision of where to put our little slot for our money. We want to make it big enough that coins and dollar bills can fit through, but not large enough that if we shake it or anything like that, then all of the money would just come flying out. So I would recommend taking a pen or pencil and just kind of sketching a little. Pen actually won't work. That's why you want to have both, is sometimes only one of them will work on the thing that you're using. Actually, I was going to do a vertical one, but I'd rather have a horizontal one on my bank. Alright, so I've drawn my little entry on there. Now, this is where you definitely need to be careful. I have my pocket knife here, and I'm going to just try and make a little indentation, kind of try and dig it in there to cut through. And there it enters, and it's a little tricky to get it to be the right size. This is not the easiest, but you don't want to force it, because if you force it, that's where you can get hurt. So right like that. I'm going to try it on this side. There's that. And then the other side. Almost there we go. And then on the bottom. As you can see, I didn't get perfectly straight cuts on my entry slot, but that's okay because then it gives the bank a nice homemade feeling. But I have that one. Let's do the orange bottle. And this one's a little trickier because this is more rounded of where I want to put my entry hole. So I'm going to put it, actually, I didn't make that decision beforehand. I think I'm going to make it on the side right here. And so it's going to be a little different. And this one's a lot thicker, so it's a lot harder to cut. And then I'm actually going to try and finish this one off with the scissors. It's going to be a lot easier to control the scissors to do this last cut. And it's not perfectly straight, but that's okay. So now we have both of our bottles and we have slots cut in them. The next thing that I would want to do is we want to make it remind us of why we're doing this. Remind us of Mrs. Walker. And for the green one, that's really easy. Green was her favorite color, but I want to add a little bit to it. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take this purple construction paper, just purple paper, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of wrap it around and see how much of it I need. And then I'm going to mark it with pencil so I know where to make a cut. And then I'm going to cut it out with my scissors here. Looks like I cut that a little bit too small on that way. But I can still wrap it around this way. It's just going to need something to hold it together. There's my sleeve, basically. I'm going to cut off this extra on the bottom. Make sure it sits flat, but right like that. This one could be a little bit tougher, but I want to add more green to it. So I have 2 pieces of green paper here. And I want to try and wrap them around on this way. So they'll be like this. Now again, I'm going to make my marks. So I'm only going to wrap it around the lowest half, because I still want to be able to see in there, actually. I like having that option of being able to see the money build up. There's that. Let's see, it should wrap all the way around here. Yeah, perfect. Look at that. Oh, that fits so well. So again, it stays on there. You'd be able to write anything on there. Again, if you have colored pencils or anything like that. So I originally just left my bank like that because I didn't have colored pencils or crayons or anything to add more to it. I thought, you know, I'll let you guys do that. But then I thought about it, and later that evening, I saw the perfect solution. Something that I can add to my bank to give it more of a personal touch. Something that I can look at and say, oh yeah, that's exactly what that bank means to me. And so what I did is I took a brochure. Now this is a National Park Service brochure, and we have one at the Maggie L. Walker National Historic Site, very similar, the same layout. And what I did is I just took this pair of scissors and I cut pieces out. So I cut and put Maggie L. Walker across the top. I also used her portrait on one side. And then I also took a picture of the Jackson Ward neighborhood, the neighborhood that Mrs. Walker lived in, and added that to another side to add those touches of Mrs. Walker to my bank, the reason why I'm making this. But I also was able to leave some blank spots, and that's by design. Because I'm going to be able to add something that's even more personal to me, someone close to me, or something that makes me think about saving, just something more personal. And that's what I'll be able to add right here. I haven't decided just yet, but I encourage you guys to do the same. Make it have that Maggie L. Walker touch, but also have something in there that's just from your lives, that makes it more meaningful to you. And it can also be something that you can change. Because I just taped mine on, and you might do the same, you can always update it. You can always change it. You can always make it your own. And that's what I really like about this craft, is that this was something that I was just going to throw away. I had really, in my eye at first, no real purpose for an empty orange juice container. But now, I have something that I'm going to be able to add my personal touches to. I'm going to look at it, always think of Mrs. Walker. I'll probably think of my coworkers and other people here in Richmond. And I hope that you do the same with your bank. Thank you so much for watching my video about how to make a bank out of something that we were just going to throw away or recycle. Hopefully you are able to make your own. Hopefully you're able to share it with us so we can see your creativity. Because I would love to see what you all can come up with. Thanks.